Welcome back to the Chicago Tomahawk. I'm Mike. I got my line mate Matt with me. Welcome everybody. Twitter, we're live. This is a lot of fun to do, man. We're gonna go over some Blackhawks news. We're gonna go over some NHL news as we're getting ready to kind of, the end of the season is on its way, and I'm ready for the playoffs, man.
Yep.
The trade deadline's been over. Kind of ready to kind of move on. So Blackhawks are winless since our last podcast, which was last week. 7 game winless streak. What we found out today, the Big Rig's retiring after this season, and he had a nice. They named the number one star of the game after the game today, which is pretty cool. He had his 96th fight of his career today. That's a lot, dude.
Shit.
96
It's a lot.
tussles. Yes, they also named Cody McLeod used to play for the Avalanche. I remember that dude, that toothless. He was a big guy, man.
Yeah. You remember Jared Bowl?
Yeah,
I liked watching that dude fight.
yeah.
Local kid from Chicago.
Okay.
I wonder how many he has, but yeah.
Yeah. So, news wise, Colton Dock got some injury news. He hyperextended his elbow in the last game. He looked pretty upset. Luckily, it's not like some ligament damage in his hand or his knee or something. So they're probably going to shut him down for the rest of the season. He's done. He should be able to recover and get a good workout in this summer. But Matt, Danny Wirtz was ranked 29th out of 31 ownership wise.
No way.
His grandfather would be proud.
No
What
way.
what do you think it is that the makes him a bad owner so far?
Well, in the words of Dale Talon, I don't know if you guys saw the Dale Talon podcast with Spit and Chicklets guys. If you surround yourself with losers, you are going to turn into a loser. That's all I have to say about that.
uh, well, um, I think that at one point his dad had made him kind of like the side of the hockey operations in Faulkner, the business side, and then when his father passed away, he moved up to essentially be the CEO, take the CEO role, and in doing so, I think that it's time to move on from Faulkner because the fan base is not happy. And if you want a recipe for success, you only have to do one thing, and you have to make the fans happy.
Mm-hmm.
And that means bringing in things that the fans like, like the fans actually enjoyed the Ice Girls. You know, removing them is something where it's like, okay, that's one thing that the fans don't like. And they've gone into this like direction where it's like lifeless going to the games where it used to be, you would hear the drums going and that would
Oh,
get me pumped
baby.
up, dude,
Oh, I
hearing the
love those
drums,
guys.
the organs, that used to be huge. And, they've moved away from doing these things now. And it's made the game lifeless there at the United Center. And a lot of people aren't happy. If as the owner of the Blackhawks, what do you think Danny needs to do to right the ship to move this in a positive direction for the fans?
Well, one thing stands out to me. When they retired Chelly's jersey, that was cool. You kind of got like guys like our age. That's who we watched. And it was against Patty Kane. The crowd was going nuts for Kaner. Kaner scores the overtime goal. The place erupts like it was like a Hawks overtime win in the playoffs. Like crowd. Clearly, the fans want Patrick Kane back. I don't care what any of the Hawks beat writers have to say. They like to be smart, Alex. Say, oh, it's not going to work. It won't work. But okay, it will work because I think he wants to be here. Absolutely. After that game, how could you not want to be here? Not signing Kane was the biggest, stupidest thing I've ever seen. Um, and like we said before, it's probably not on Davidson. He doesn't have a say on that. It's the people above him saying, "No, we're trying to get away from that." But the fans want that. Give us what we want. Uh, the Ice Girl thing, I really don't give a shit about, but I mean, it's cool. Uh, I don't like the whole like the pregame stuff. Like it's goofy and it's good to be have a good atmosphere for kids too. I understand that. Um, but there's nothing like in the 90s, dude. The 300 level was crazy.
Yeah, it was.
Like if there was an opposing fan, that dude was like dead to rights the whole game. And it was just that cool, like just badass vibe, just like
It was more of an adult vibe.
it was like the freaking Romans, man, like cheering on Maximus, at the state at the whatever it's called. But it's awesome. But yeah, it's just not like that anymore. It's too like it's really I what can I say, like feminine, it's just not it's not fun. It's not I mean, this is where dudes like, yeah, have a beer and watch guys just go to war down there. It's not like that anymore. And the last game I went to was against the Jets, which I'm sure it didn't help because they're boring as hell to watch. They're very good, but still boring. And I was like, yeah, let's go early and beat the rush. And I was never like that. I'd
Yeah.
always be like, no, let's stay. And I was ready to get out of there.
I always stayed to the last bell. I'd actually grab a beer right when they were closing because what I would do is I would sit there until everybody fucking left
It's
and they were
smart.
getting ready to kick me out. And when
Yeah.
and then at that time I'd go out, there'd be nobody out there. You just walk to your car and just drive away. But like you said in the '90s, man, I remember I went to a game with my uncle, and to the left of me there was these two guys, and these two chicks, and the chicks are good looking, and everything was cool, man, and they were all just taking beers back the whole game. By the third period, man, these dudes were going at it, just throwing
Oh
bombs on
yeah.
each other. I was like, holy shit. And the guys had to come up and break it up, but that was the kind of environment it was.
Oh, it was mean. And
It
when I was a
was.
kid, I mean, I sat in section 320, right below the box, the press box. And I just remember there was a lot of Red Wings fans there because it was a great rivalry. And this this Red Wing fan, he's got his white jersey on. He's going up and down the stairs, and he looked a little hammered. But this dude tumbled all the way down. Like there's like three
I saw a
rows.
guy tumble too.
He's just going, and like not one Hawk fan did anything. They're just like, yeah. He's like, ah, I see, like he felt like Peter Griffin in Family Guy, like he just lasered dead, and no one did anything. I was like, oh, is someone gonna help that guy? And I just remember my dad's like, yeah, look what jersey he's got on. We're not helping this guy. But yeah, it was awesome back in the day. I mean, even with Rocky, under Rocky, everything was just better.
Yeah.
And of course, the whole scandal thing, ruined everything.
Yeah, it
But
did.
they handled it wrong, and they're paying the price. And they went really far that way, and it's just to the point where the team sucks, the management sucks. There's a good future, I think, with young guys. I will give Davidson that he's been picking really good players, and they're dominating in their respective leagues and stuff. But that stuff takes time, He's still we gotta. I think he's got to go hard for Mitch Marner, the top dog. Matthew Nyes, if he makes it, I don't know. I know he's an RFA, but we got to do something to get this fan base energetic again because the attendance is dropping,
Yeah.
and that's money. And I know it seems like Danny Wirtz, his best comparison to me right now is Chris Farley and Tommy Boy. He inherited a great company, and at first he doesn't know what the hell he's doing, and he's almost running it to the ground. And it seems that at least Chris Farley saved the company. This guy doesn't seem like he wants to turn it around because the people he's surrounding himself with are just they're not hockey people. I'd be on the
Yeah.
phone with Dale Talon tomorrow. Dale, I need you to come and run the hockey ops.
What
You
do I
have
need
done
to do to
everything.
fix this?
I
Well, you know what, man? They need somebody for the fan experience as well.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
Dale
it's
Talon.
not just hockey operations because, I mean, give Davidson some credit. He is doing a good job drafting, but they need to change the fan experience.
Yeah, I mean, like it's not exciting to me when I'm going to watch one player that I know is NHL like ready in Bedard. The
Yeah.
rest of them, like, how can I get excited for? That's like when Dale Talon started building a team. I know it takes time, but I mean, it was Kyle Calder was the best player on the ice, and he's good. He was good, but he's a bottom, maybe mid six guy.
Yeah.
And
Him and
how do you get
Arneson were playing
excited
the
for that?
top line, and they were like middle six guys.
How do you get excited for that? And then you got
Yeah.
Jeff Hamilton with the sweet visor, tinted visor, 5'8", blasting darts from the blue line on the power play, and that was it. Like for me, that was it. But
Yeah.
going back to a hockey president, like a hockey-minded guy, Dale Talon. I know he's old. He's done it all. He's done. He was a player. He was a coach. He was a scout, a GM, a TV play-by-play guy. He's been everything in the field. This is the guy. Even Eddie O. Eddie O wanted the job, but something fell through. I guess he wanted a little bit more security. I don't know the complete rumor or story about that, but even Eddie would have been better than what we have now. At least he knows the game and what it's all about, the history of the game. I don't even want to say the person's name because it's just a look at me. I hired this, and you know what I mean. I did my part and stuff like that. It's just not working. An original six owner that just came off 3 Stanley Cups a couple years ago, or whatever it was,
10 years ago.
shouldn't be 29th ranked in the NHL. That's embarrassing. It's
Yeah.
embarrassing. And he should. I mean, I don't know if he even gives a shit, but if I saw that, it's the Atlantic, so I mean that's like a big
Those
sports.
should be his people, though. You know.
It's like, who am I surrounding myself with? I look stupid, and he does look stupid. And then the whole TV deal, not getting that done before the season, that
Yeah.
was stupid too. You got to be all over these guys. Negotiate, dude. A
Yeah.
lot of I know tons of people that aren't gonna pay for it again, and I don't blame them because this is garbage. And oh well, you can pay 30, you get the Sox and the Bulls. Oh wow, gee, thanks. That's a bonus. They're
Who's gonna
freaking
pay to watch the Sox?
terrible. They're all three of them are terrible. So I don't know, man. It's just it's a rough time to be a Chicago sports fan, that's for sure. But big summer for KD if he could bring in an elite coach, get the top dog free agency, make your star franchise player better. That's a good start. But the ownerships they got to do their part too.
Maybe he could pull off a deal like the Blues did by getting, what is it, Dylan Holloway and
All the
Broberg.
offer sheets, yeah,
Because Dylan,
yeah.
Holloway, he's got, I think, 24 or 26 goals, 24 goals and 36 assists this season. Hey, man,
And
that's pretty
hey,
good for getting an
Edmonton's
offer
hurting.
sheet.
They're hurting because of
They
that.
are
They're hurting
big
bad. And
time.
nothing he can do. He had to pay Drysaitel. So I don't know why you bring Bowman in to save your franchise after you were 1 goal short of winning a cup. I think it's just gonna go downhill for them. I don't see the Oilers being. They're so weird, that team. They're just
Yeah.
they look like they win 6 in a row, and you're like, oh shit, they're back. And then they go winless, and say Connor goes down with an injury or something, and it's like, oh, okay, they're not as strong as we look. And Stuart Skinner's not as good in net as we thought. But they're a weird team. Like they'll get hot, they'll get bad, they'll get hot again, and then they'll make it to the Stanley Cup final. But yeah, man, I don't think Bowman was the right guy for that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought that. Hey, we're 1 goal away from winning the Stanley Cup Finals. Let's hire Bowman.
Yeah, that's weird.
Well,
Very
then
weird.
again, I mean, he did win a couple cups, moved some players around, and added some guys that we needed, and we
Yeah,
won, 2 more cups.
he
So
absolutely made good trades.
yeah,
He did. Frolik was one that always comes to mind right away. That guy was very good. Very good special teams guy, good top six guy, whatever you needed him. That was a good
Oduya.
pickup.
I thought Oduya was a good pickup.
Uh what you know what? Was Dale Talon the one who traded Rutu for Led? I think it was Dale Talon. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
Dale Talon. But there you go, Dale Talon, the man.
yeah. It's really unfortunate that there are these issues going on with the Blackhawks. Especially as fans, where you would think it would be easy, man. This is an original six team. They got great colors. They're very easy to advertise for, and
The
they're kind of
history.
just
Yeah,
the
that's
history.
I mean, yeah.
If you just buy into the history on what's made it what it is, I mean, it's a no brainer.
I mean, I would have. I know Jonathan Taves probably doesn't want to be around, but I'd be like, hey, dude, you need to be here. We need you here. Like, you don't have to play, but just be here. Your presence. Uh, get Jeremy Roenick. I know people are upset at him with his comments about Bedard, but like that's what McDonough did well. He brought those guys back,
Yeah.
and Bobby Hall came back. Stan Mikita. You're in the same building as these guys. Like they're at the gates, like greeting people. That's awesome, dude. Like that's what it should be about. Like passing the torch to the next generation. What they did now is something that Bill Wirtz would have done. Like, okay, I traded Roenick. Get the hell out of here. We don't want you even a part of this, you know? And I know Bill hated Bobby Hall. I think they both hated each other. But, you hear those stories like Brett Hall wants to be a Blackhawk. We're about to sign Brett Hall, and Bobby Hall's going to come back with him, and they're going to bring the Halls, and it falls through. Like, that would have been huge in the 90s,
Yeah.
dude. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
But just stuff like that, like, just think about it. Like, get guys like Tony Amani. Get him walking around and stuff. And that's what I liked with McDonough. There was Bob Probert night. There was Tony Amonte night. There was
Yeah.
JR night. Even the last shift that they used to do, I thought that was cool. Like they bring
Belfour and Amani. That's what
Belfour,
they called it.
Larmer. That was great. There was nothing like that this year. Nothing at
Yeah.
all. It was just hey, let's just go out. We know we're gonna suck, and we'll give away a hat here and there or whatever.
But we're having our Pride Night.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we got Pride Night. I mean, cool. If you're into that, cool. But I don't get that. There's so many opportunities to do good things. You got, Chelly's an ambassador now. It's just Chelly and Savard. I haven't seen Savard all year except for the Winter Classic. That's it. I mean, that dude should be walking around, being on TV, in between periods, even like a radio show, anything. Bring the old guys back, and that's how you move forward. You take care of the guys that, pave the way. And it's just something that these guys haven't got yet.
Something coming up. They've been talking about NHL expansion, and it's something that I'm kind of on the fence with. I don't see like why it would be a big deal, but it is, man, because I get it that they want to add more teams, but if they do that, I think that it's going to lessen the product that we have out on the ice because we have so many teams and we're spreading it thin. And if they were to do something like that, obviously we got to give up a couple guys, and that sucks because we've drafted a lot of guys that we're looking to build this team with, and that could impact the Blackhawks. Why is it that you think that they want to put a team in Atlanta?
I have no idea. Maybe he wants the quick cash, and 3 years later they're bankrupt or failed again because no one's going to go to a game there. I'm sorry. It's going to be.
What do you think about
three.
Houston? They could potentially get a rivalry with Dallas.
You know what? I think a lot of people are moving to Texas, and I think the athletes like to play in Texas. The whole state income and it's to me, man. I know a lot of people that move there, and they love it. There's more freedoms. It seems like.
Yeah, but it's hot as hell during the summertime.
You got your old school guys. You got your Cowboys. You got your gun guys, and I like the Stars, man. I cheered for the Dallas Stars in '99. That was a great team, and
yeah,
it's a big state.
Did you cheer for the Stars or did you cheer for Eddie?
I cheered for Eddie, but
yeah,
I you know what? I'm trying to get myself a black original away jersey. It just says Dallas, and it's just got that sweet star.
Yeah.
Oh, they're like $400, but they look so good. And even the '99 jersey was good. I like the darks; they look good.
Yeah, I like them too.
But I think Houston would work. It's highly populated, and like I said, a lot of people from the north move, and like Florida. There's a lot of hockey fans in Florida now, believe it or not. And when your team's good, look what happens.
Yeah,
people go and they pay to see it.
I mentioned
Tampa.
Quebec to someone, and they said that, yeah, it's kind of a good idea for it, but the problem is the economics there. That the economics aren't the same in Quebec as, say, somewhere like Montreal or Toronto. And do you think that we should have more teams in Canada?
Well, I don't know. I'm not big on their tax policies and all that junk, but I've heard Winnipeg doesn't do well either.
Isn't that crazy? And they've got a winning team.
They got a first place team, and I heard they don't get the corporate backing like say the Leafs and the Canadians, but you know what? Canada is not. Every state has a big city. It seems like in our country, and you look at like Canada's like population. There's a lot of emptiness, like a lot of wilderness.
Yeah.
So I think they're okay, but I mean I'd like to see them get another shot at Quebec, but if the money's not there and they're not going to take a risk on it, I don't see any owner willing to go in losing money. So like we can jump to Utah. I don't think they're doing well either. They're not selling out their stadium their first season like Vegas knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, they
That
did.
first season was huge. They set the tone and like they're gonna make another playoff. I think this is their every year they've won 40 games.
Yeah, they said this is their
Yeah,
seventh straight season with 40 wins.
that's incredible for an expansion team.
Right.
They're one of the fastest expansion teams to win a cup or win a championship in sports. I think the Diamondbacks maybe did it sooner, or maybe it was Vegas. I don't know, but that's impressive, and you got to go off swinging like that because
Yeah.
Seattle's kind of, eh, you know, I'm not. I think they're a boring team to watch. There's nothing really flashy. They're still looking for that star. And you could say, "Oh, Matty Beniers is good." Yeah, 25 goal scorers aren't stars, or 30 goal scorers. They're
Yeah.
just average goal guys. They don't have their Nate McKinnons or McDavid's. But yeah, it all comes down to getting that star and selling it. And Vegas was great. That whoever, I think it was George McPhee, the former Washington Capital GM, he nailed it on that expansion draft. And they're ballsy. They trade guys. They'll sign a guy, 4 years, they'll trade him the next year if they don't like it to bring
Yeah.
somebody better in. It's ruthless. It's
Yeah, it
eventually
is.
going to come back and bite them, but
Yeah.
they know like this is the biggest time for them to like this is it. We gotta go all in here to keep fans interested and make money. Now's the time.
Yeah. That's a. I thought that Utah, I think it's a good area, man. It's cold there. I would think that there would be a lot of people there looking to go to games to have a good time. Apparently, that's not the case.
Yeah, they're not doing well. I think they're not selling out like they were planning, obviously, but I like I said, if you get that star, you get that kid who's gonna take you to the next level. And I respect the trades they made. Sergachev was a good move, but he's not the guy. You trade a guy like, hey, we brought Brady Kachuk in. Okay, that's different. Like, wow, we got this guy. He's a big name guy, and that gets people interested.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Even with Chicago, if we didn't have Connor Bedard, the United Center would be 7,000 people a night. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
that might be the fact.
Yeah.
Hawks got very lucky when we
Yeah,
got
they
that.
did.
We got very lucky.
So, quick question I wanted to bring up to you: neck guards. There is there's a comment by the New Jersey Devils, I believe it's GM, that he wants neck guards to be mandatory, and I was talking a lot to people on Twitter, this week about it, man. And kind of my idea is that neck guards are allowed. It's not like if a guy wants to wear a neck guard, he can't go and get one and put one on. They're allowed equipment for you to wear. If you want to wear one, go on ahead. And I think that it should be up to the player's choice whether they want to wear one or not. Saying that it doesn't need to be mandated. I don't think that there's a need for it to be mandated. And there's a crowd that they're like, hey, you know what? If he's playing for me, he's going to wear this, which that doesn't really work because it has to be agreed upon by the owners, and then they have to take it to the Players Association, and then they have to approve it. So no, if just because somebody is playing for you doesn't mean you just mandate what they wear. It doesn't work like that in the NHL. So my question is, what do you think? Do you think that the way that they have it now is sufficient? Saying, hey, you know what? You guys, this is available to you. If you want to wear it, go on ahead. Or do you think the better approach is it doesn't matter what you think, you're going to wear this?
Well, like you said, it's got to get voted with the players' union too. I mean, the owners could probably do their thing. The league could do their thing. I personally wore a neck guard. Uh, it, it was a Vaughn, a goalie one, and I actually was able to attach it to my chest protector. I was a goalie, so clearly it's probably better for me to have it than a player. But I did know a kid who did get cut in the throat, and his voice changed forever. A kid from Evergreen Park, actually. Uh, it's scary, man. And I think at the youth age, you should wear a neck guard because sometimes feet come up. Even in the pros, the feet come up, and those are skates are tight, are very, very, very sharp, and it's almost like razor blade. Like if you open up a box and you cut your finger open,
Yeah.
you bleed bad. And we've seen some guys. One kid died recently, I think overseas, American kid,
I think it
and
was Johnson was his name.
yeah, Pittsburgh Penguin kid.
Yeah.
Incredibly sad.
Yeah.
And I mean, I didn't like the way they handled the visor thing. You know how they that was mandated. Like
Yeah.
they grandfathered in the guys. I could see them maybe doing that. Like, hey, next year we're gonna make everybody wear neck guards. If you don't want to, you're all grandfathered in. But the upcoming rookies and the players coming in the future are probably gonna be required to wear them.
Mm.
That's if it's voted, like you said. I personally, if my kid was playing and going to the NHL, I would want him to wear the TJ Oshie, that black one. It doesn't even look like a neck guard. It just
Yeah.
looks like a turtleneck,
Right.
and it really can't affect much.
We talked about that on here too.
The old ones in the '90s were very uncomfortable. It was like a piece of picture like a shin guard just wrapped around your neck, and it feels like you're choking.
Yeah.
I actually had mine changed up, and I didn't even notice it at times. But
The cool thing about the TJ Oshie one is that it comes up like over your wrist too,
yeah, it's
so
like
it protects your wrist
like
as
an
well.
Under Armour type of
Yeah.
setup, Kevlar
Yeah.
anti-cut types. Yeah,
They were
that's
saying
cool.
that if they had mandated Kevlar socks, that um
Oh yeah,
if they mandated Kevlar socks, what's it? Landeskog wouldn't have had the injury that he had.
Eric Carlson had an injury like that too. The back of his heel, he got cut, and he missed some time with that. But that would have been the same thing. They make those work gloves like Milwaukee's.
Yeah.
They have the anti-cuts. It's a great idea, and sometimes the legs come up, and you know I I remember Richard Zetnik got cut bad, and the trainer saved his life. Like he knew what to do. He saved his life. He went to the ER, and he was back within a couple weeks actually.
Wow.
And yeah, it was nasty, blood everywhere, and that big scar. And he had his neck guard on. He had that giant turtleneck looking thing. But
And and like that's the thing that like kind of like my question is that these guys know the risk, they know what they're doing. You know, should we allow them to make that choice, or should we make that choice for them?
I think everybody should have their own choice. Like I said, they're talking about mandating it, the current guys should be grandfathered in if they do not want to wear it, but they know the risk. And it's sports. Like if you're if you're not wearing a helmet, you get hit in the head, you're probably going to have some issues later. Later in your life.
Yeah.
It's the risk. You don't want to see it, but you probably will.
I
Uh,
think TJ Oshie's his clothing line, it's called War Road, I believe, if I
okay,
remember
yeah, it
correctly.
looks cool. I see a lot of players wearing it. I think the only guy I know on the Hawks that's really sporting it is Wyatt Kaiser. He's got
So
that.
is Bert.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I couldn't tell because usually he's got that long mullet going in the back, and you can't even. He's got the short hair going now.
Oh
But
man.
even the goalies. Do you remember the glass shield, like the clear?
Yeah.
That's considered a neck guard too. Yeah,
Oh
that was
really?
considered a neck guard too. But they fog up really bad, and if you're looking down and you see fog and you can't see your feet, that's not a good thing because you probably won't see the puck if it's close.
And
So you
then you
don't
get
see them
ran over by
anymore.
somebody.
You don't see them anymore either. And then the whole cat eye cage where they're Ben Bishop actually a puck went through it like it had to be a perfect shot, got him right in the face. So I mean, there's could be discussions about those too, but it's just the risk. It's the risk of having something like that. It's there something bad might happen to you.
So, interesting, man. It's one of those things where we can obviously go on and on about it. I mean, I think guys should have their own choice. But if I was playing, I would be wearing one
Yep.
because the game is faster now than it was back in the day. It's more dangerous because guys are faster and stronger. So things happen. Guys, feet come up. God knows what's going to happen.
Even a puck, man.
Yeah, pucks
A
too.
puck would help.
A stick to the neck.
The
Who
wood
knows?
sticks used to be, worse.
Yeah,
They were heavier and just like I said that my teammate, he got cut bad and his voice changed. Like he almost sounded like that, like a 50s radio guy.
he didn't get like a deeper like bad guy voice.
Never got the deep voice, man. And he was so pro net guard, and his dad was too. Obviously, he didn't want
Oh
to see your
yeah,
kid, but it was so scary for him. But he played. He played all the way to college. He did. He had a good little hockey career.
good for him. So we have a question from one of our callers, a tapeworm. Um, she has two questions actually. My first question is: should coaches be afforded the right to challenge, therefore taking it out of the officials' hands and have Toronto make the call? How do you feel about that, Matt?
The whole offside stuff, that's getting ridiculous. I think Bill Wirtz actually tweeted something about that. Like
Yeah,
if it takes longer than 3 minutes,
a
it's
minute,
close enough.
or like if they ring
Yeah,
the horn.
I feel like that's the only challenge lately. Is just or goalie interference, which is another joke because you're talking to a guy who used to pull guys into the crease to give myself the advantage. I used to do that too all the time. Like, oops, I feel somebody, I'm gonna fall down and act. It's getting worse in
Did
the
you go?
NHL.
Oh,
You got the guy flying by, and Shosturkin is going nuts, and he's falling down, and giving trying to snap a guy's neck today. I don't know if you've seen that one,
no, I
and
didn't.
he actually got the penalty. Uh yeah, I think the coach. I like the one challenge thing, and I do like if you are gonna take the chance to challenge and you get it wrong, you get that penalty, that delay a game. I like that. It
Yeah,
makes you really think about, okay, am I gonna waste time or no, no, no. I'm pretty sure we're good. Um, it's hard though. Penalties are hard to challenge, especially goalie interference, because, like I said, it's a lot of the goalies are very intelligent and they will feel a skate coming close, and you don't want to bring the in the crease rule back. Remember those days? Like, oh, there's a skate in the crease, no
yeah,
goal.
yeah,
But I mean, he's not like really doing anything to interfere with them. He's just screening, and the little bit of the blade goes in that was crazy back
yeah.
in the
That was
day. They got
brutal.
that wrong.
Yeah,
But definitely, if there's contact, like incident, like the guy is like, he trips the goalie, and they don't call it, you got to challenge something like that.
right.
But if
Yeah,
you
I'm all for it.
challenge, sorry, but if you challenge somebody, say Seabrook pushes, you know, his Duncan Keith into the goalie Crawford, and the guy scored, that should be a goal to me. Like if your own player knocks somebody into you, or you're a teammate or an opponent into the goalie, that shouldn't be a challenge. That should be, dude, you knew what you were doing. You screwed over your teammates. That's a goal. That's something that they should look into too.
Yeah, I think that kind of like the idea of if the official is looking into like the monitor and he's doing that for like like 3 minutes, 4 minutes. We're getting to a point where we're cutting needles here. And, maybe if it's a Stanley Cup Finals, you want to get the call right. That's one thing, but I think Toronto should be involved at the same time, saying, "Hey, look, this is what we see up here. This is what we're finding. You know, what do you got? Okay, make this call, and it has to be done within a certain amount of time."
Yeah, there's got to be a time limit because this 20-minute, 15-minute stuff that sucks.
Yeah, it takes away the completely flow of the game. And our second question is, what would it take to implement this? Um, it would probably take a voting from
GMs.
all of the GMs
Yeah.
on the rule, and then implement it into the. And they already have the infrastructure to do it, I guess technically, to do that. But in order to make this a rule, the GMs need to vote on it. The Players Association needs to accept it in the probably the in some kind of a vote, and then they can make it a rule. So that is that. Thank you for your question.
Yeah,
We're
good one.
appreciative. So game 7, man, starting lineup. Any players? Who
Ooh,
would you have?
in that, I gotta go Eddie.
Can we choose the same players, or do we have
Yes.
to choose different players?
No, let's choose different.
Okay.
I like that.
All right.
Yeah, I like that.
All right. I'll give you the honor. You go first.
We'll switch off each position. We'll start with goalie.
Okay.
I'll go with Eddie.
I'll go with Wah.
Okay. Give me Sergei Zubov.
Oh, the
We'll
give me
just work our way up.
Lidstrom.
Ooh, okay. Give me Scotty Niedermeyer.
Fuck.
I got two offensive dudes.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
do. Scotty Niedermeyer. Um, I'll go Chelly.
Okay, I'll go winger.
A
I
little
know
little,
you're.
little nastiness there.
Yeah, I got some good offensive back there. You know what? I'll go center. I'm gonna go with Taser.
Damn it! You
I
know
know.
he's my favorite fucking player,
I know. I
man.
had to do it. I'm a dick.
All right, I'm going with Fedorov.
Oh, I like that. You know what? It's game 7. This is a controversial wing pick. Justin Williams.
Okay.
He's Mr. Game 7, man.
Kaner.
All right, last winger.
Because Kaner shows up, man.
Got Taser. I got Justin Williams. I think I'm gonna go healthy Peter Forsberg on
I'm
the wing.
going prime Brett Hull.
Oh, so we
That's
gotta
a
get
lot of
this.
offense there, man.
We gotta get this written down and
Well,
see.
actually, think about it. You've got Kaner setting up Brett Hull. That's a hell of a
Jesus.
fucking combo.
We left
And
out so many good players.
I know. And you've got Fedorov. I mean, essentially
Yeah.
just having to play D with the.
He's KGB, man.
He could
Yeah.
do actually. If they he's a break glass if you need it. Just give him the puck and let him do his Nike commercial thing.
And you got Watt in net, so
Yeah,
I'm gonna need to get in his head early.
and Lidstrom.
I should have picked Claude Lemieux or something.
Yeah.
Or,
Oh, you know
what's
what?
his-
No, see, we picked 7 guys. 7 guys just to pick. We didn't pick matchups to kind of battle each other. This is kind of just like a Swiss Army knife of,
Oh
do you want
yeah,
to
I
play
mean,
this
if
squad?
I would expect you to pick Kessler if I picked Taves just to like counter me. I think that
Yeah.
would be great.
Yeah, I picked Fedorov because speed
And he
and
plays good D.
and he plays great D. It's kind
Yeah.
of they kind of wash each other out.
That is good. That's a good one.
Eisman would have been a good one too, but
He's
um,
clutch.
he
Yeah,
is.
he was clutch in the playoffs, man. Even with one knee. He had a bad knee that year. He was a monster.
We've got 10 questions from the
Oh,
what,
the
the
rapid fire. Here we
rapid
go.
fire from the Lion. I didn't see what they were so that I could be surprised. Here we go. Bigger rival, Wings or the Blues? So all time, that's a good question. I would probably say now the Blues because with the Wings going to the Eastern Conference, it's kind of like, all right, guys, it's been great, type of a thing. What do you think?
If we were still in their, if they were still in our division, our conference, it would still be the Wings. But yeah, like you said, it's the Blues now.
Play with or without a cup?
I
I think
forgot
that
my
answers
cup
itself.
a couple times, and I had to stuff player's sock, not a foot sock, a
In your
hockey sock,
jeans?
in my pants. I had to
Just kidding.
2 pairs of socks for padding, and I was scared shitless. Thank God I was on the bench that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it still considered a Chicago dog if they use cucumber instead of pickle? No.
No.
Which Blackhawk did you despise while they played for the team?
Ooh.
Oh man, that's a good one.
Wow. Shit,
Havlat.
that's- Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he was always hurt. He never
Yeah.
played.
I liked him a lot. I did not like when they brought in. Oh, shoot, what was his name?
Either him or what's his name? He was our goalie, man. Before we
Bobby
got
Dolan?
No, before he took over for Hobby Bullen.
Oh, Hue.
Yeah, Cristobal Huey.
Yeah, I didn't understand that signing
Yeah, I
really.
didn't like him.
You know what? I'm gonna go Hobby Bullen because when they signed him, I was pumped. He just came off that cup with
Yeah,
Tampa, and frickin' dude would pull his groin every week, and the team sucked, and it's not fun when you're the big dog on the team, and you gotta stop 60 shots a game. So I'll probably Hobby Bullen for me, even though he was a very good goalie.
best flavor of Gatorade.
Riptide Rush.
Okay, I like the Frost blue. Does sports gambling belong in sports and every stadium? Yes.
I'm not a gambler, but if it makes people happy, sure.
It adds to the experience.
Yeah.
Fruit the beer or not, like Blue Moon or Corona? Yes. If you have
You
a
mean like
Hefeweizen, nothing's better than having a lemon in it.
okay, like a lime and like a Modelo or something?
Yeah.
Uh, sure.
Yes or no for hybrid icing? Yes.
Um, I was kind of upset about that when they first did that, but if it's protecting guys from getting hammered on a close play, yeah, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah. Should coaches be afforded the right to challenge, negate officials, and have Toronto make the call? What would it take? Oh, okay. We already did that.
Yeah.
And since Big Rig Patty Maroon is calling it quits at season's end, which player has to step up as a physical grit player? Does it have to be from inside the organization, or who's the summer acquisition? I don't think that we have that player as of right now. That would need to be addressed in the offseason.
I think that kid could be that Sammy Savoy. Is that his name?
Oh, yeah.
I think he's somewhat like that, and maybe he'll make the team next year. And then there's your answer.
Yeah. Sam Renzel won the defensive player, I think, defensive player of the year in for Minnesota. Is playing incredible, and Sasha Boisevert, another Blackhawks prospect, he won another award for. I think he plays for North Dakota.
Fighting Sioux.
Yeah, guys are. I'm telling you, man. Davidson, he drafts well, man.
He did good. Yeah, he's been doing good. He's got another big summer this year too. He's got I think he with 3 first round picks.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's big. Those
I
are
think that he's
likely to
going to
be
use them. I think he's going to use them for a trade.
all three.
Not all three. I think he
Oh,
might take that first pick, depending on what he gets,
obviously that's the
or if he's
early
trying to
one.
move somebody. Say,
Yeah,
he's talking to Ottawa, wants to throw in that first pick that we get,
yeah.
maybe for Brady
Oh,
Kachuk.
okay.
You know,
I was hoping Wyatt Johnson.
I'm throwing that out there. I'm just throwing it out there into the ether.
Okay.
That first pick wants to get Brady Kachuk because that would take care of a need that we have. We need a power forward, man, a gritty guy,
And a leader.
and a leader.
A
Yes,
real leader.
absolutely.
Yeah, a guy who can produce too is nice.
And I think that he's going to be making some trades and trying to sign Marner. Um, but that's the thing though, man. What is he going to do? Obviously, we know that he drafts well. I think the scouting department has done a phenomenal job of identifying good players to bring into the fold. And honestly, man, I think he might use Wyatt Kaiser as a trading chip as well. And I
I,
think that's why he's been playing so much.
I think he might use more than that. I think he might give up even uh, what's that kid's name? Del Mastro. I think they're kind of showing him off a little bit too.
Okay,
Even though I like him,
I do too.
I like Wyatt Kaiser too. I think he's a gritty little good player. Uh, but it's gonna suck if you don't land Marner. You almost have to make a trade. You have to do something. So it's good to have 3 first round picks for sure. You could probably, like you said, if you're going for a guy like Brady Kachuk, if he's even being considered by Ottawa, it's going to depend a lot on this run in the playoffs. If they make the playoffs, I mean that dude needs to play in the playoffs. He's
Yeah,
like a playoff, like his brother. Those guys are built for playoffs. Uh, yeah, you're probably going to have to give 2 first round picks for him, maybe even more than that, and a good NHL current player and maybe another top prospect. So, yeah, we'll see, man. It's a big summer. I want to see a good coach. I want to see him be hungry. at free agency, or maybe even be hungry for a Mike Keenan like blockbuster trade that'll change the like a Chelios. Bringing Chelios in was a franchise changing moment.
Yeah, it was. We traded Savard for him though, didn't we?
Yep, straight up.
Yeah, that was a big one. Yeah, I don't know. There's going to be a coaching change. Probably the whole staff.
You
I would
have to.
ima-
Yeah,
I would imagine that they're gutting the
Derek
whole
King,
staff.
thank you, but sorry, it's not been working out with each coach he's coached with. So
Yeah,
just time to move on.
yeah. So coaching, um, we need to address some. We need to get somebody big in a trade. I think Marner's done in Toronto, man. He's not going to say it, but if they have um, a first round loss,
Which could
he's
happen.
he's out.
It could happen because the matchup's not looking good. It's looking like they're gonna run into Tampa again or Florida. So
Oh,
yeah, you got to go through one of those teams to make it, and those two teams are just stacked.
yeah.
And they have experience in the playoffs. They both won, and it's scary. If you're a Leafs fan, it's scary. And we talked about this before. When you ask Mitch Marner to waive your no trade clause, it's almost like, okay, I thought you wanted me, and now it's like, okay, you're trying to move me. It's kind of like okay, maybe I'm not wanted. You get that feeling, and maybe he's not happy about that.
You know what? Just play devil's advocate here. Maybe they said like, "Hey, look, I got this offer on the table here
They have
from
to.
Carolina.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to waive your no trade clause?" I don't think that they would be able to get an offer for somebody and say, "Hey, yeah, we're not even going to bring this. We're not even going to bring this to him," because I think that's illegal. I think that they have to let him. They have to notify him.
And you have to take care of your team as the GM. If someone's offering you Miko Rantanen for Mitch Marner straight up, you have to ask them, like, "Hey, are you willing to waive?" No, I'm not. Okay, we'll
Thank you.
cancel. Yeah, thank you. But Brian Berkey on XM said that sucks. That really probably costed them more money by doing that because
Yeah.
now Mitch thinks he's expendable and he might go out looking for the best he
How
can
do they
get.
not like? How do they not communicate this? How do they say, "Hey, look, man, I just want to let you know that we're in no way do we want to trade you. I have
Yeah.
to bring this to you because legally I have to do it, and I just wanted to let you know that we
Maybe they
value
don't
you."
though.
What's
I'm
that?
not sure about the rule on that. If you're not gonna not, if you're the GM and Miko Rantanen's on the table, you gotta say, okay, let me ask my client. I mean, you have to.
Yeah,
You got to take care of your team still too. And honestly, that would be be a crazy trade if it went through because that was one of the teams he would sign with. He even said that.
Toronto.
Toronto, it was Toronto, Florida, Dallas, and somebody else.
Yeah,
And as a GM, like yeah, you have to, like I said, you gotta take care of the team. If you can land a player like that for Marner, who's a pending UFA, and you got a chance to resign the guy, you got to do it.
yeah,
So I don't think they did anything wrong, but I think Mitch might have. Guys take some of that stuff personal sometimes.
yeah.
And yeah, I think Mitch, and I've heard rumors of Mitch's agent. He loves testing free agency. He loves going to July 1. That's what the rumor is on XM at least.
Do you think 14 is going to be the asking price?
Might be the starting price, yeah.
Do you think
And
somebody pays 16?
16, no, no. I think he's going to start at 14, maybe 14.5 to wiggle it a little bit, and you might see him agree on like a contending team, like 13.5, 13, or with the Hawks maybe the 14.
14.
He might get it, yeah. And Dennis Bernstein, he's on the fourth period, covers the Kings, does a great job. He thinks Marner's going to come to Chicago. He even said that. He goes, I think Mitch is going to go get paid, and he got a chance to play with Connor Bedard for 7 years. That's not a bad thing at all, and it's an original six city. He's going to be a god here for the time he's here. So, but then you hear stories like his wife doesn't want to leave Toronto. She's from Toronto. Okay, Mitch is too, but if you're not wanted, you
And
gotta
and if
go.
you're getting your teeth kicked in by the media saying that the reason that the Toronto can't win is all your fault, That's
That's
going to
wrong.
sour you a little bit.
I laugh so hard at that, and I love how Nylander gets the pass, and remember the whole thing they were arguing on the bench.
Right?
Nylander saying "quit whining, bro" or something.
Yeah,
That story came out. He was talking to Austin Matthews. He even said it. And Mitch Marner was, oh, Mitch Marner's throwing his glove around. That's childish. Do you know how many times Nathan McKinnon does that?
yeah,
He
I
did it
know,
tonight.
I
He didn't
know.
score in overtime. He smacked the stick and broke it.
He was
I
probably
watched it.
smacking the stick, banging his head against the
They
fucking boards,
that's a
cussing
good
out
sign.
everybody.
But that's a great sign. They give a shit. They
Yeah.
want to win. That's what you want on your team. I don't care if he throws a glove, if he throws it on the ground, whatever. If you throw it into the crowd, that's one thing. But dude,
Yeah.
the guy cares. He wants to win.
Yeah.
I'd absolutely love Mitch Marner on this team.
Yeah, yeah. I'm all for him. In all honesty, dude, I think Mitch Marner could benefit Lucas Reichel as well, because Reichel's got speed. He's got
Some hands too.
He's got great hands, and he can get those. We have another guy who is an excellent passer to feed guys. We got Bedard is great passer, and so is Mitch Marner.
I think Bedard's a better shooter than a passer.
And that's saying something because
Yeah.
I think he's incredible dishing out the puck.
He is. He's an all-world player. But
Nazar would
somebody
benefit.
has to shoot. And
Yeah.
I think if I'm looking at the roster, even say Mitch Marner's on the roster too, I want Bedard shooting. I want Marner to do it. Marner gets I think he's over 85, 90 points already. He's
Yeah.
incredible. He's incredible. And he'll definitely make Bedard go to the next level, which he's already at a high level as it is. He just
Yeah.
needs help.
All right, so we both get Marner's. We get a stamp of approval.
Oh, yeah. Yep. I'd be
Might
the
have to
first
get
guy
that
to buy
Marner
his
jersey.
Yep. Yep.
Well, what do you think about obviously the leadership core is going to change next year. We've got not next year, but who knows? Depending on what they do with Foligno, do they buy him out? Or do they
No.
buy out Brody?
Yes. Or waive him.
Who do you
Bury
think the
him.
next captain of the Blackhawks is going to be?
You know what? We talked about this at the beginning of the year, and I was really like, "Oh, this is Bedard's team." You know what, man? I don't think he's a leader,
Yeah, I don't
and
think
there's
so
nothing
either.
wrong with that. I'm not
Yeah.
knocking the guy. I just think he's more of the Kaner.
Yeah.
Kaner never had a letter till the end, and
Well, they
he's
had their
just-
leadership group established though, and
yeah.
Taves, Sharp, and Dunks. And
Siebes, too.
Nobody,
Yeah.
nobody was getting a letter after that other than Siebes.
Yeah.
And Siebes didn't get one until like 5 years down the road.
And you know what? I liked what Denny Savard did too. When he was coaching, he'd have away captains like A's revolving, and then he'd have the home guys. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, man. I don't know. I think Foligno will be the captain next year.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, like after Foligno.
yeah. You know what? You think it's Bedard's team, but I just see him not. He's a quiet kid.
Yeah.
I mean, on the bench he's quiet. Sometimes you see Taves. He'll be talking and looking serious.
Getting guys riled up.
This is the guy you're listening to. I hear Vlasic's really good on the ice. He's real vocal. Good in the locker room, and he does a lot of podcast shows. He's a good speaker. I could see maybe Vlasic wearing a C. But hey, maybe we sign somebody and make him the C. Maybe, hey, Mitch, how would you like to be our captain?
No way. He's like Bedard. He's not a
I don't know.
captain.
He's a good personality though, man.
No, I'm
Yeah.
not saying that he lacks in personality. I mean that I think that he's more of like a Bedard. You usually
Well-
have like a strong personality, not a strong personality, but
Patrick Kane will be the next captain. Of the
oh,
Blackhawks.
dude.
I would love that, man. I would love it.
Yeah,
I don't know if I think he's got one more year with Detroit. No, I'm not even sure. But
I have to check.
that would have been the right thing to do.
yeah.
But like I said, you surround yourself with losers, you're going to turn into a loser, and that's what's going on with the management team and ownership team.
Just bring Taves back. Say, hey man, you're the captain, even though you don't want to be.
Yeah, just
We're not winning a cup here. All we need you to do is just be who you are. That's it.
Just go in there, tie your skates, and that's leadership enough.
And
That's
win some face-offs for us.
exactly.
That's all that we need you to do.
I think Taves is going to be like the next Iserman. He's going
Yeah,
to get a GM role somewhere, and then maybe in the future he'll be back.
he's got that hockey mind.
Oh God, yeah, dude. Remember how upset he was with Brandon Hagel
Yeah,
going? He was
yeah.
so upset. He saw something, and look
Kaner
at the
was
guy.
upset too.
Look at the guy. Career year, 30 something goals.
Yeah, but he's doing that in Tampa though.
Yeah,
Who wouldn't be able to do that with those players?
he's not playing with those guys. That's the
Who's he
thing.
playing with? Isn't he on the second line?
Anthony Cirelli and whoever their line mate revolves. The top line is Cooch, Point, and Jake Gensel.
I thought Point was on the second line.
No, Point's
Who's their
Point's
second line?
Cirelli, Hagel, and whoever Nick Paul or who's ever revolving with their team. They were struggling bottom six, and they actually went out and got some guys from Seattle. Yanni Gord, who won the cup with Tampa, and that Oliver Borkstrom, who's Tampa's going to be good, man. They did a
Yeah,
good
they
job
are.
at the deadline too.
I would
But
probably give them in Colorado the grade for best retooled team.
Colorado did amazing to retool your team completely. Two goalies, three centers, couple good wingers. It's incredible. And I watched that game tonight, Colorado Montreal. Good on Montreal for fighting back.
Yeah.
They were down 4-1, but dude, Colorado is so good. When your centers are McKinnon, Nelson,
Coyle.
Coyle, your three centers, just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And Marty Nichas, doing what Mikko Rantanen was doing for $6 million a year, and actually he's doing better,
Yeah.
putting up way better numbers. Cale Makar, Devin Taves, and then you got Mackenzie Blackwood, who was almost buried in San Jose, and Colorado's like, no, this dude's good. This is a
Yeah.
good goalie. Let's get him. They
Yeah.
went out and got him, and I think he's got like 17 wins or something. Unbelievable. But that team, A+ at the deadline for sure.
Yeah. 100%. Well, all right, everybody. That's all that we got for you this week. We do a live every week. If you want, send us a message. We'll add it in here and we'll go over it on the podcast. But that's all that we got for you this week. We'll catch you on the next one. This is the Tomahawk. We're out of here.
Sweet.